All right, let's go over some of the most bizarre claims found inside of the Epstein files, shall we? Now, some of these are verified or speculation. Some of them are not true, but we're going to go over them anyway. And let's start with probably the most, I think, bizarre of the entire thing, and that is accusations of eating humans. This one here, this accusation is that this is graphic and, you just, if you got a weak stomach. But this is claiming that Bush Sr. and Jr., I believe, raped African-American males, and that there were individuals then eating feces from human intestines, and there was some ritualistic sacrifices going on. Okay. Told you this was going to be bizarre. Okay, this is what the email says. Subject, interview a purported Epstein victim. I'd like to add a few other points disclosed by the purported victim while on this yacht he witnessed. So this is a victim, a purported victim, talking to law enforcement, saying African-American males so he witnessed this, African-American males having sex with white blonde females, all of whom were bleeding during intercourse. He was a victim of a type of ritualistic sacrifice in which his feet were cut with a scimitar, but left no scarring. I don't know if I'm saying that right. On the yacht, he witnessed babies being dismembered, their intestines removed, and individuals eating the feces from these intestines. He was also raped by George Bush Sr. Victim disclosed he was escorted to the FBI building by Michael Moore, who is the creator of True Pundit, described by multiple online sources as a conspiracy-driven news website that attempts to paint the FBI in a bad light. So I think that's a different Michael Moore than maybe the one we're thinking of. Moore has a criminal record as a result of an FBI investigation. Let me know if you want to discuss the former FBI agent that called this into the head office. Thanks. And then it says, I didn't realize Bush raped him too. And the response was, he has more to tell us too, he said. So I think it was, I don't know if he was accusing both Bushes or just the older Bush, but okay, bizarre. But I want to bring your attention to this. This was an old video. This is of a model, Gabriela Rico Jimenez. And in 2009, 21-year-old model Gabriela Rico Jimenez, who was reportedly at a elite event in Monterrey, Mexico, was recorded on camera freaking out. Okay, and I'm going to show you the video. She's making statements, including they were eating humans. And so she was going on and on saying they're eating humans. And this was at this elite event that she went to. They said, well, she just seems to have mental health issues. But now with these other accusations coming out in the Epstein files, accusations of people eating people, let's just go ahead and take another look at this video. Okay. So she's saying they eat humans. Yes, I knew about the murders, but now they're eating humans after she went to an elite party. It gets weirder. Nicki Minaj then tweets this out, and she says, your favorite artist has been practicing rituals in a satanic cult where they take babies from other countries and mutilate and kill them as a form of blood sacrifice to their god. You see, when your master is Satan, you must constantly shed blood. However, the jig is up. Who is she talking about? I mean, she says your favorite artist has been practicing rituals. Is she talking about somebody specifically, or is she just saying probably your favorite artist because chances are high, and that they're all basically a part of a satanic cult? People have been pointing out for a long time that these concerts from a variety of different artists tend to have symbols that are known inside of satanic circles. So it's bizarre. I mean, it sounds really, really insane. Sounds completely nutty, but I don't know. I mean, weirder things have happened in the world, I guess. People do weird things. I mean, it's hard to imagine. It's hard to wrap my mind around this as being real. It just sounds like, okay, yeah, these are mentally ill people making claims, but I don't know. I mean, what if it is real? And then here we are just acting like, wow, that can't possibly be real. I mean, this kind of stuff has happened. We have documented instances of children sacrifices. That has happened throughout history in many cultures many times over, where children were sacrificed for gods, or cannibalism. I mean, these things have happened. So, I mean, we can't really just discard it and say, well, no, it can't be possible. I mean, why not? Why can't it be possible? I don't know. Here's another claim inside of the Epstein files that was quite interesting. A guard claimed that Epstein was smuggled out before his death. A lot of people have said the dead body that we saw, which, by the way, it's weird we even saw a dead body. You know, they leaked the picture of Epstein after he was found dead. When else do you see that? I mean, we don't really ever see that. So it's almost like they wanted us to see it. So maybe there's more legitimacy to this claim than not, because we do have a picture of Epstein. And then people are pointing out, yet that doesn't look like Epstein. And I'll show you those photos. But this individual anonymously posted on 4chan the morning of Epstein's death, August 10th, 2019, claiming he witnessed weird happenings at the prison before Epstein's death had been identified. And now he's been identified in the Epstein files. So it turns out that this guard is Roberto Grijalva. He's an officer at the Metropolitan Correctional Center in New York. He has been identified as the anonymous prison employee who posted on 4chan claiming Epstein left his cell Friday evening shackled in a medical wheelchair, while at the same time an unauthorized trip van arrived at the prison, which he believed took Epstein away the night before news broke of his death. Both parties want you to believe they're working for the people, but let's be honest, Washington is bought and paid for. Big corporations in Wall Street get bailed out, while working Americans get left with higher prices, shrinking savings, and endless promises that never materialize. The system is corrupt, and when it breaks, they won't be the ones paying the price. We will. That's why I put my trust in something outside of their control. Physical gold and silver from American Hartford Gold. Precious metals are real, tangible, and they've held their value through every economic collapse in history. You can have them delivered straight to your home or secured in a tax-advantaged gold IRA. American Hartford Gold has an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau and thousands of 5-star reviews. And right now, when you call and mention my name, Kim, you can get up to $15,000 in free silver with your purchase. So call 866-584-3884 or text Kim to 65532. That's 866-584-3884 or text Kim, K-I-M, to 65532. Don't wait for politicians to fix a system they benefit from. Protect yourself today. So he was claiming, I saw the guy, they took him out of here. Weird things were going on. And, then they ended up saying, well, nobody really believed this guy, but let's just go ahead and look at the pictures of Epstein. He's saying that Epstein. So this is the picture that leaked. And when we saw this, people were like, oh, yep, he's dead. There he is. But then people pointed out, that doesn't even look like him. And here's a side-by-side. Now, this is a picture of Jeffrey Epstein alive that's been turned sideways. But you can see here the nose. People are pointing out that the nose shapes are different. One nose goes down. The dead guy's nose goes down. And Epstein's nose actually has a straight, his nose is straight and doesn't curve down. The nostrils are different. Many people pointed to the ears being different. Here, let me show you the ears. That just the shape of the ears are different. And now that we know who this guard is, this anonymous posting, and now that this has come out in the Epstein files of who it is, I don't know. Do you put more believability into it? You can't really discount the fact that the nose does look different and the ears do look different. But then you'd think that, where would he go? You can't go anywhere in the world without people. How do you fake your death like that, and where do you go? And then what? I guess they would give you a lot of plastic surgery at that point and change your appearance entirely. That's what would happen, right? I would think so. Here's another claim inside of the Epstein files that Epstein is Mossad. This is what these letters say. CHS, remember, Dershowitz tells Alex Acosta that Epstein belonged to both U.S. and Allied intelligence services. CHS shared phone calls between Dershowitz and Epstein during which they took notes. After these calls, Mossad would then call Dershowitz to debrief. Epstein was close to the former Prime Minister of Israel, Ehud Barak, and trained as a spy under him. Barack believed Netanyahu was a criminal. Saudi Arabia, Israel, and the United Arab Emirates are allied against Qatar, Turkey, Iran, and Syria. So they're saying, they're claiming that they were Mossad. So that's the claim here, according to these email documents, that Trump has been compromised by Israel and Kushner is the real brains behind his organization and his presidency. So this originates from a confidential human source, which is this was a single informant providing uncorroborated information to the FBI's Los Angeles field office. But, and then, sounds pretty believable. Alan Dershowitz even said on this show, he said directly that he had been working for the state of Israel longer than I'd been alive. So pretty believable if you ask me. Let's see what this claim is here. This is Epstein basically admitting to be Mossad. He's interacting with Ehud Barak, who was the former prime minister of Israel. And Epstein asks Ehud to clarify that he is not Mossad when he goes to talk to people. So he says, hey, Jeff, are you going to be in London on Thursday? Best, Ehud Barak. And Jeffrey says, unfortunately not, but you should make it clear that I don't work for Mossad. And Ehud says, yo or I don't know what that means. And Jeffrey says, that I don't, smiley face. That you don't, smiley face. Sounds like you maybe do. Okay, this picture was found inside of the Epstein files. Now, this is a weird one. Here's a dude in his underwear and a T-shirt holding something, some sort of I don't know what that is. It doesn't look like it's in a binder or something because it's too big and also it's kind of floppy. I'm talking about the black thing there, guys. And then there's this woman. A lot of people said, oh, that looks like Meghan Markle. We don't know who this woman is, but it is very odd that there's a man standing there in his underwear. And more odd is that someone took a photograph of this. If somebody is sitting there taking a picture of this, like, why would they take a picture of this? Who would you allow in the room with? Why would you be in your underwear in a room with somebody who can take a photograph like this? That's kind of weird. But it turns out this person here, spotted in this picture, is Peter Mandelson. Peter Mandelson is one of the most powerful people in British politics. He is one of the most powerful people for the Labour Party. And that is who that is. He's now resigned after not only this photograph came out, but also there were some accusations that came out in the Epstein files that he's been implicated in the files, discussing sensitive documents that he leaked to Epstein. He gave him basically confidential information that he was not supposed to give. And he also apparently was being given a lot of money. Epstein made $75,000 in payments to Mandelson in 2003 and 2004, and another £10 to his partner in 2009. So this guy was being paid off by Epstein, this Peter Mandelson guy, and clearly hanging out with Epstein a lot, leaking information to Epstein. And what's interesting about Peter Mandelson is he's one of the staunchest supporters of Israel. Surprise, surprise, surprise. And that is the point of the Epstein files that everybody is wanting to know about. It's not just about the pedophilia ring and holding men accountable for their disgusting behavior. It's about how all of us have been held hostage by this foreign policy blackmail. And Peter Mandelson is one of those people. He should be going to jail just for what he did, leaking confidential information and whatnot. This should be serious. But a lot more people need to be going to jail. But this is, I think, a classic showcasing of what many of us are afraid of when it comes to the Epstein files. And that is that this was a blackmail operation to compromise our politicians. And he is a prime example of that. Okay, this email here, one of the most bizarre claims found in the Epstein file, or this is just a bizarre email. Jeffrey Epstein writes to someone, where are you? Are you okay? I loved the torture video. What? And this was from 2009. And this person writes, I'm in China. I will be in the U.S. second week of May. Sent from a BlackBerry wireless device. Now, there are some speculations online on who this might be. Some were thinking, it was an Israeli official. Some are saying maybe it's Lindsey Graham. Some said maybe Netanyahu, but Netanyahu was in Israel meeting with the Chinese in Israel in Jerusalem, not being in China at that time. Lindsey Graham was there at that time, I think. I think when we did the research on that, some people are saying John Podesta, and that there were claims of John Podesta. There was conspiracy theories, they always say, conspiracy theories that had circulated around about a torture video in John Podesta. So those are the claims. Yeah, I'm just telling you the claims. But this email is real. So what is this torture video? What I hate about this is that they redact these names. Like, why redact this from Jeffrey Epstein to someone? This email's real. So tell us who it is. It's a real email with a real person. You don't need to protect their privacy. This email's real. So show us who was delivering a torture video, you morons in the FBI. Give us this information. This is what we want. Redacting this. Oh, I love the torture video. Like as if no, everybody wants to know who the hell sent Jeffrey Epstein a torture video. Don't you think we should know this? Instead, they redact it. This is what's pissing us all off. You know, all these redactions, and then they don't redact the victims. They only redact the perpetrators, the people who send torture videos. That's who they redact. Unbelievable. This was another one. People looked at this and they thought that this was a bank account that was owned by Jeffrey Epstein. And on it, it says that the name of the bank account is Baal, Baal, which is it's a Canaanite deity, you know, like the devil. Basically, it's a devil deity. And so they're saying, oh, Jeffrey Epstein even named his bank account after the devil. But it looks like it might have just been a typo. And it should have been bank name, but instead they wrote Baal name, and then next to it says Wachovia Bank. So it's possible that that's just a typo, but just wanted to show you some of the explosive claims that were found that Jeffrey Epstein named a bank account after the devil. And maybe he did. Maybe that's not really a typo, but it's like, we've got to insert the devil's name in order to make more money, or, you know, some sort of weird devil thing, some sort of satanic thing that I don't know about because I'm not a devil worshiper. Here's another claims that have been circulating online. Really convenient, but people are trying to say, you know, Putin's name was found in these files like 1,000 times. And actually Epstein, this whole blackmail ring was for the KGB and for Russia. That's who he was really working for, is now what people are saying. This was Putin's puppet, that he was Putin's financial advisor, according to some of the documents, that he was talking to Putin, meeting with Putin, having very casual meetings with Putin. I mean, it's possible. Look, I think that if this guy was running a blackmail operation, my guess is if he wasn't loyal to the state of Israel, he was selling his blackmail to whoever would buy it. And a lot of countries would buy it. So yeah, it's possible that he was also operating as a KGB asset. Many of us haven't really thought about that. I mean, we all figured Israel, probably CIA and MI6, right? But yeah, sure, why not the KGB too? Why not? If you could make a lot of money, which Epstein was clearly making a lot of money, then maybe that's exactly another really weird thing in the Epstein files. This is a Norwegian princess. Mette is her name. Princess, what is her full name? Princess Mette Marit. And she's with her son there. Her son is Maris Borg Hoiby. And in the Epstein files, what's really bizarre is that Princess Mette had asked Jeffrey Epstein for parenting advice. But the parenting advice she asked for was, she asked, is it inappropriate for a mother to suggest two naked women carrying a surfboard for my 15-year-old son's wallpaper? Yeah, it's inappropriate because that's just like bad mothering, but also, you know, weird. And then it's even more weird that you would ask Jeffrey Epstein if he thinks it's inappropriate. Jeffrey Epstein wrote back with like, mothers should stay out of that, leave it up to him. What's really weird about this son, I mean, this is how bad, I'm just going to say it. She's a bad freaking mom. I mean, I'm sorry, but if you're going to put wallpaper on your kid, 15-year-old kid's wall of two naked women carrying a surfboard, and you're hanging out with Jeffrey Epstein all the time, yeah, your kid's probably going to end up screwed up. And guess what? Her kid, Maris Borg Hoiby, now faces 38 criminal charges, including 4 counts of rape. He's on trial, starts Tuesday, tomorrow. It is the biggest scandal in Norway's 120-year royal history. He is facing charges of rape, domestic violence, just really bad guy. 38 counts of this. And it's rocked the Norwegian royal family. He's not the blood son of the crown prince. He's the stepson. But yeah, you know what? Your mothering skills are actually to be questioned. Not going to lie. Another bizarre thing found in the Epstein files, an email from Melania Trump to Ghislaine Maxwell 2 years before she married Donald Trump. So maybe the conspiracy theorists are right about Epstein introducing Melania to Trump, that maybe Melania, I don't know, maybe she's a honey trap, who knows. But Melania Trump emailed Ghislaine Maxwell. She says, "Dear G, how are you? Nice story about JE in New York Mag. You look great in the picture. I know you're very busy flying all over the world. How is Palm Beach? I cannot wait to go down. Give me a call when you're back in New York. Have a great time. Love, Melania." So much to be discovered in these Epstein files. So much weirdness. So much just corruption, dysfunction. All these terrible things that we thought would be in the Epstein files are in the Epstein files. But the worst part about it is no one will go to jail. No one will be held accountable. Nothing will happen to any of these people. And we will just have to accept that we live in a society where the rich and powerful can literally get away with murder and rape and kidnapping and all of these terrible things that are being accused. And worst of all, selling our country's soul and blackmail and selling our country's secrets and killing people in the battlefield for their pleasure and their gain. The world hasn't changed much from the days of the corrupt monarchs, has it? They just rebrand themselves in a different way, but it's all the same, unfortunately. Thanks for watching this clip from the full Kim Iverson Show, which you can catch Monday through Friday, 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern, for free at KimIversonShow.com. See you there.